Hello, boxing fans. I'm your host, Kurt Ward. We're here with another news update. I'm joined by Adam Smith, Alex Morris, Paul Webb, Brian King. We're going to be discussing the news that the First Lady of Boxing, she's made her glorious return. Kellie Maloney is back. Some people thought she'd be promoting David Haye. Some even thought she'd be able to pull a miracle out of the hat and bring back Sir Audley. Wasn't to be. Paul, who's she going to be promoting when now she's back?
Well, she's going to be promoting. Well, there's two, but the main signing she's brought is the Scottish heavyweight Gary Cornish. So, I mean, obviously her experience, and I will say her because we'll be respectful. We'll acknowledge the fact that
You
it is
better
now
be.
Kelly and not
The
Frank.
First Lady, you better be.
Absolutely. And after Kathy Duva's antics last week, we need a new strong woman involved in boxing. So yeah, Gary Cornish is unbeaten. He's 20-0, 11 knockouts. He's not been in with anyone particularly great. I mean, he managed to outpoint everyone's favourite drug cheat, Larry, with a name I can't pronounce. I can never know his name. Alabama Way. Someone can probably attempt that better than me. And he's fought the guys like Paul Butlin and a lot of people on the domestic scene, but he's not fought for any titles yet. He's not really stepped up, and after 20 fights, you'd like to think so. He's a big old boy, though. I mean, he's well over 6'6". Not the hardest hitting heavyweight you'll see, but he's he's the kind of person that you'd expect Maloney to go for. Someone they're going to manage rather than promote, and they'll probably end up putting him on different shows. It won't be straight away putting him on their own shows. And then like I said, he always works with a small stable. I can't see, sorry, she. I can't. This is hard. You have to keep saying she. I can't imagine her signing loads of fighters. She'll probably just stick with the one or two.
Do you think this is a good idea with Kelly coming back? Because I mean, nothing to do with the transgender issue, but she obviously retired from the sport because of health issues. I mean, is it a wise move to now come back after a couple of years out?
Well, I'll tell you a little story. So after I was at Price Thompson too, hashtag press pass. And anyway, so I was there and after the fight and seeing the state that Frank at the time was in, and then seeing him backstage with his family, the difficulty around the promotion and the
I'd shag his
pressure of
daughter.
it. He didn't, he just didn't look healthy. And obviously there was a lot going on at that time. Obviously he wasn't happy in his own skin, but he looked to be absolutely done with the sport mentally. He looked like he just didn't want to be involved anymore. Price was his last big thing. I mean, he's not a young man, and it seems strange that he's coming back. But then again, as Kelly, if he's a lot happier and if the mentality's right, he can be a better, or in this case, she can be a very good manager. Did a very good job with Lewis, did a good job with Price to a point, but you can't account for Price's total lack of conditioning. So there's certainly worse people that Cornish could be involved with.
Alex, do you think it's a good move that Kelly's coming back?
I can't stand him, to be honest, or her. Just because he's got a fanny now, I'm really not interested in him being back, her being back in boxing. I should really stick with one of those, shouldn't I? I just think it's a bit of a PR stunt, or a bit of a game to get a bit of attention or whatever. Gary Cornish, I've really no interest in his career either. Apparently, he shat it when he was given the opportunity for a British title fight against our friend Dillian White. He pulled out of like purse bid negotiations or something for that, so he's obviously not interested in becoming a decent fighter. He's just looking for a payday and signing with the latest, craze of gossip, Kellie Maloney. I think that he's just going to be out there for a bit of attention, just like she is. And honestly, I have no interest in this.
Adam, I'll come to you on this. She tried her hand at Celebrity Big Brother. She failed. Orderly beat her in that as well. Do you think she's gonna be a success in the boxing world now after a few years out?
No, I don't want him to be either, and I ain't referring to Frank as a woman either. I think they're just using it as a PR stunt.
Disgusting.
No, I don't care. It just shows
That is terrible. Where is your respect, young man?
No, I don't care.
You're
I've got no,
banned. You're banned from the podcast,
I've
the
got no
videos.
respect. They're just
Hashtag transsexual hater out.
well, as Paul said, I was there that night as well, and I was there on the first night, and he didn't look good on either night. So he's retired for genuine reasons, and then they're selling. He's basically gone back into boxing promotion through a transsexual operation that the taxpayers paid for. I'm not happy about it. I'm not happy about it at all. It's all
He's not got a cock.
it's, it's all a big PR stunt, and no, I'm not supporting it at all.
You have to wonder I mean, Gary Cornish is already scheduled to fight and again, I won't mispronounce it because Brian will shoot me, the Bella Houston Leisure Centre. Something
Bill
Scottish,
Houston,
anyway.
aye. That's
No,
fucking.
that's all right.
That's where some
Yeah,
of the fucking the clubbings are.
Yeah, so he's scheduled to fight there, and obviously the MGM lot are putting on a lot of shows in Scotland. So I thought that the likelihood would be that Cornish would actually sign with them because everyone else in Scotland seems to be at the moment because of Matchroom and
Cornish is
Warren.
shite.
He's not the best, and he lacks power for a heavyweight, and he will get found out when he fights someone decent. Apparently, though,
I
they've been
told
offered
people
the
the
prize
exact
fight
same thing
already.
about Simmons, and they couldn't listen to me. I was like, Simmons is fucking rotten. Like, no, he's good. Nah, he's good. I was like, no, he's not.
But I mean, in terms of whether it's a good thing or not, I mean, you know, he's got to find a TV channel, and because it's Kellie Maloney, I reckon that will be an avenue. I reckon someone will put that fight on. Yeah,
Gary
so
Cornish
I
v
think that
fucking Audley Harrison.
On Channel
well,
5, easily. Channel 5 would be right up her fucking fanny, and they'll put it on.
I mean, but to be fair, again, if you're a boxer, right? So no one knows it about Gary Cornish for right or wrong reasons. No one knows about him. Suddenly now, Gary Cornish could be fighting on someone like Channel 5 or Spike TV or whatever they do. Channel 5 have got that partnership now in the UK, and he suddenly becomes sort of a relevant name. Someone saying about Nuts TV. Frank did have a deal with Loaded, but that got cancelled. So there are options for him. He's just it's a big PR stunt, isn't it? It always has been with Kelly. It always will be. Well, I'll always like Frank Maloney because that was the first big show that I got given a press pass for, and
She'll always be in your heart.
so the dream started there, and now I don't get press passes to fucking anything because I'm connected with you wankers.
In other news, we had Prince Patel, who was released by Steve Goodwin, signing with Frank Warren, which no one saw as a surprise. Is that a good move for him, Paul?
It's a good move for Patel because he needs a promoter, and he's actually, for all his antics, he's actually a pretty decent fighter. He did well as an ABA fighter, and he's got a bit of power behind him. He's loud. He's a big personality, and as much as I hate the fact that boxing needs characters, it needs personalities. Warren loves a bit of controversy, and I think I summed it up earlier as the loudest mouth in the room or the biggest mouth in the room gets fed first, and that's the case with Patel. He's that one IFL interview did a huge amount for his career. It made everybody hate him, but it made everyone know who he was. You name another 1-0 prospect who's probably as well known as him in their sort of the hardcore boxing world, and there aren't many. Patel's a big name now, and Warren's obviously seen that. Thought I need to sell a few tickets because my shows only do about 80 tickets. So this guy might sell me 85. So why not bring him on board and then try and build up the Charlie Edwards fight that won't happen because Charlie Edwards is with Matchroom. So that just kills that fight. So no, it's a shit move. Don't like it.
How do you think the cards are going to sell when he puts Romeo and Prince Patel on the same card? I mean, are people going to buy the tickets to see these guys get knocked out?
Definitely.
Yeah, like I said, people it's like, do you know what? Well, the problem is, it's all Floyd Mayweather's fault. So ever since Floyd Mayweather, people have decided, a lot of young fighters have looked at it and gone, right, he became the richest fighter in the world off the back of the fact that everybody, 90% of people that were tuning in to watch him or would buy a ticket, were hoping to see him lose because of his brash personality. Now, it worked for Floyd Mayweather because he's already a multimillionaire and he was very, very talented. When you see some numpty from down south in London who's not had a professional fight yet, like I said, did well as an amateur, but still Charlie Edwards kicked the crap out of him 5 times out of 6. To see him then coming out saying how he's young, he's fresh, he's fly, he's good looking, and this, that, and the other that he pointed in the video, it's just ridiculous, and no one wants to hear it. But now everyone knows who he is. And I wish Coogan didn't take the comments off the video as well because there were some cracking ones on there.
I'm not interested. I think he's a knobhead. Until he fights someone good, I won't watch his fights. I don't care.
I think he's a prick, and he's well suited with Frank Warren because Frank Warren's a prick and he likes signing pricks. So
I'd like to thank Adam Smith, Brian King, Alex Morris, Paul Webb. I've been your host, Kurt Ward. Thanks for listening.